and okay. Just tell me what is our last class?
How to create user and giving policy to the user.
Okay, so which means that we are in the AWS IAM service.
Yeah.
Over there, we created the user, and you assigned you attached the policies, right, to the same user,
Yes.
and you
Mm.
set your console, you are enabled the console access. So through console, you are accessing that your AWS account, and we are trying to accessing some kind of services. If you're not setting the policies, then you cannot able to access your AWS services. If and only if we set the policies, that corresponding services only we can use it.
Yeah.
That's what we seen it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this session, what I can do, we can able to go for create the one particular application. See, you can see my application, you can see my screen, right? So this is one web application. Okay, this is employee directory web application, and so it was created with help of Node.js, and maybe it could have internally DynamoDB, and it could have storage. It has to store in a S3 only, right? Okay, see, this is the web application which is deployed in my AWS account. Okay, so this application, we can see how we can deploy the application in AWS. Practically, we'll see in a role base, role authentications. Okay, if you are the role instead of the user authentication, if you are the role, then how we can how we can use the role authentication, how we can set the role policies and everything. Okay, let's see that kind of example. So here we can add the employee directory. Here we can give that your name and details. Okay, and you can give that all the details, and so it can holding into your account actually. Okay, data science, and so you are the for example, I'm the Windows user. Okay, and choose your file. For example, you can choose any one of the file. There's some screenshot. Okay, save it. So the data, it was saved or not? This is real-time project, guys. This is real-time project, and this was deployed in my AWS account. Okay. Now see this kind of lab at this moment. We'll see how we can deploy this particular project in our AWS. Okay. So nothing too much. Okay, nothing to worry about this particular project. Just it is a pretty simple. Okay. So let me go for the my AWS console. Okay. So first we'll go for the AWS console, and I'm doing this thing through console. And if deployment is done, then I would like to go for the some kind of AWS IAM commands here. Okay. So sign in. Okay, so it was signed at my AWS admin account actually. So it's my IAM. So how we can log into this AWS console that I already explained in our previous session. So in the same way I did actually. Now what I can do, I would like to go for it's already running. This instance is running. So what I can do actually, so I would like to go for stop this instance, and it was easy to instance actually. Don't I'm just stopping. Don't practice this at this moment actually. One if and only if I complete it, then you will be getting more actually. Okay, so I'm terminating this instance so that if you're terminated, if you try to access this one, you will be getting an error. Okay. Okay, so it will take some time actually. So we need to have time. So it's terminated. The instance is running in my previously it was running so that it is working. But at this moment, I terminated so that it won't work actually. Okay. It will take some time for it's running. That end of the day it will be giving some kind of error actually. Okay. Anyway, I am deleting this one. I'm terminated. So let me go for explaining that IAM role access. So that project I can deploy. Okay. So let me go for credentials, and here we have a role, right? It's running in the sense. Okay, so here we have a users, and here we have a roles, right? So I can delete this. It was created myself only, so that I'm deleting it. Okay.
I have
Mm,
a quick question.
uh,
This is my first class, so how can I get my previous sessions?
for that one, I already give the access for my previous recordings as well. And if you're not
Okay,
able to access the recording, then you can let me know personally. Then I can share with you. Okay.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
But this I couldn't start anything so far. Okay, so now in a minute, if you give the time, so that I can start our fresh class actually. Okay, so
Okay,
this is our AWS IAM service. Within that, AWS IAM service, we have multiple options: user group and users role. I would like to go for explaining about how you can create the role-based service. How we can how we can use this role. Okay, for that one, I would like to go for the one real-time project. So I want to be deploy the employee web app. Okay, so the corresponding code, I have it, so you don't worry, I can share with you that one also. So I would like to sign out first. Again, I can log into my AWS account, a fresh mode. So here, this is my, it is asking like, my AWS account ID, right? So I have my own ID. So I have ID of my AWS, so that, 11562. And then my user is, IAM user is admin. And this is I have my own password. I'm logging into my AWS account where I am user. Yes, I log it. So once if you log it, then I want to explain about in IAM role accent, right? So here we have if you want to log into IAM, so you can simply search like an IAM and click on IAM. So you will be navigating to your IAM service. Basically, you are the admin, so that you are having that, you have you are authorized to use any kind of service inside of the AWS. Okay, like I would like to go for explaining the role. Okay, so my project, actually the project, it's a very simple project. So what exactly my project? It could use the EC2 service, it could use the S3 service, and it could use the Dynamo service, Dynamo DB service also. Okay, so that my role, it could be temporary. I already told you the difference between the user and the role. So once if you given the authentication as a user, so you are the permanent user until you delete it. Okay. But when coming to the role, then it could have some kind of temporary authentication to your AWS account. By the time of giving the role, then you can set some kind of policies and what are the services you can use as that particular role. Okay. So here you can click on the role and create the role. And my role, it could use the AWS services only. So here we have AWS account, web security, and so federal and custom trust policies as well. But at this moment, I would like to go for explaining about AWS service. And so my project, I would like to deploy in my EC2, so that I'm selecting that, common use of cases here EC2. And I could deploy my project on EC2 instance only. Okay. Next one is, we can go for the next. And so you have to give some kind of policies, right? My project, so what the project I showed you before, that it could use the your EC2, and that it could use the S3, and as well as it could use the DynamoDB. Okay, why S3? S3 could use for deploy your entire project into the S3 only. Okay, and DynamoDB, what the records, and I added some kind of employee information, right? So that it could use the my DynamoDB. Okay, and moreover, and so this application will be run on my EC2 instance only. So that's the reason this role, it could have the permission for EC2, and it could have the permission for S3, and it could have the permission for the and DynamoDB. So that I'm setting the policies here, and S3 full access. So I'm giving that S3 full access. Okay. So here you can select this one, and next I would like to go for the I would like to go for give the DynamoDB, okay, full access also. Okay, full access. Okay, So you have to select this policy as well, and then go for the next. So what are the policies you set? You can able to see here, like, policy name, Amazon DynamoDB full access, Amazon S3 full access. So what the role I'm going to be creating, that it can use the my S3 and as well as my DynamoDB. Sure, Asim Sheikh. So I would like to give you that, access for your, I am noting your mail ID. Okay, I can definitely provide you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And so I have to give the role name is, it's a DynamoDB, Dynamo, and S3, and full access. So I'm just giving some different name. That's it. Okay, you have to give the name. Okay. After that one, you can go for the create role. So I'm just creating a role in my IAM with help of the IAM service. I'm just creating the role, and it could be temporary purpose only. Okay. And I can access the AWS as well as I can use the AWS services with a temporary purpose. So I'm just creating the IAM role here. Now I would like to go for deploy my project, right? For deploying the project, I could use the service which is EC2 instance, so that you can click on the EC2 here, and so go for the instances. And so far it is not running. I don't we have only one instance is there, and that it is pending, or it is terminated. It's already terminated. Okay. Now I would like to go for creating the new EC2 instance and click on the launch option, and then we can give the name of your EC2 instance, employee web app. Okay, this is my EC2 instance name. And I'm choosing the Amazon Linux operating system. You don't worry about EC2. I would like to go for explain the upcoming sessions. Okay, what is EC2 and how we can use this everything. For this particular project, we are using the EC2 instance. On the EC2 instance only, on the EC2 server only, we are deploying our project. And so key pair, so far I'm not, I'm proceeding without key pair actually. And so here we can networking settings. We have to set some kind of networking settings here, and inbound thing, like, I am going to be using the HTTP because it's a web-based project, so that I would like to go for add security group as well. So coming to the security, and it could be like, HTTPS, and source type, it could be from anywhere. And next one is, here we have some kind of additional details. And so here, IAM instance, right? So how we can access this EC2 instance with EC2 user mode or else EC2 role. So here we have an option for Dynamo S3 full access, that it could be created in a few minutes back. And I'm just selected this one. Okay, next one is, and here we have to write the code actually. So the code, it could be executed on my EC2 server actually. Okay. So I have a code with me, so that it's not code actually, it's a script. Okay, this is not a code. The code which is available in GitHub. Okay, so what exactly it will do, I can explain you. Okay, so this we are running. This is your SSH script. It's like, your Linux script. So we are accessing the your project, the project which is available in one of repository, and we're accessing from this particular source, AWS S3 and US West to Amazon.com and dev -AWS MOGN v2 -flask.app. This is actually deployed. This is the project which is deployed in one S3 bucket, and which is from somewhere else actually. This is not from our account, which is from another account. Okay, from another user. Okay. Now, the second step is that you're unzipping this particular zip file, and then we are entering into that particular zip file, and you're installing the Python on top of your EC2, and you're installing all the requirements. And after that one, you're installing that, stress and photo bucket, and where you're deploying your project, and that instance reason you're providing. And I'm using the AP South. Here we have the Mumbai region, right? So why I'm giving that, So my role, and here I'm using this AP South one, right? So that I'm selecting my region is that, South one, and then we just launch it. It could take, minutes of time for running this particular instance. And so it was in a pending mode. So it is here, it is showing me like in a pending, right? After a few minutes, it could be like, running. When it is running, then you can access that particular web app. Okay. So basically this application, which is developed by the, okay. And, the application, this Flask app, which is created by, okay, some developers, and which is deployed into the S3 bucket or S3 storage, okay, in AWS. And so we are accessing that one and we are launching into our own server. That's what we are doing with role based. Okay, now it is running, right? And just you can select this one. And so here we have a public IP4, right? So see, you can use this one 13.233.186.113. So you can use this IP address. Can you open this IP address from your laptops, everyone? So you just copy this IP address. This is public IP address so that you also can be open this web app. If you click on this one, see, you will be getting this kind of thing, right? So is everyone can able to access this application or not? Say yes or no. If you're able to access, then you can give the thumbs up.
Paste in the
Yes.
chat.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, you guys are able to access, right? Anyway, now I'm sending that, IP address, and this is IP address is public so that you guys are able to access this one. Okay, this web application you can access. Even you can give
Yeah,
your
it's working.
It's working, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the live example actually. So this way, you can write the script, it's easy to instance the mission, which is there in a AWS data center. Okay. In availability zone of, AP South one, that means in Mumbai. Okay. In Mumbai, there we could have the 2 or 3 data centers are there. So we don't know which data center it was deployed. Okay. But we know that this is the application. This is the application we deployed in, Mumbai region. But in Mumbai region, we might have the multiple data centers. We don't know which data center which is chosen itself. Okay. Right. So this way you can deploy your own projects into EC2 instance in a role-based. Role-based in the sense it's for temporary access. Okay. So once if you stop your accessing of this one, then what we can do, we can't access the next time. The reason is that it's a temporary access only, right? But if you give the same thing in a role-based, then everyone could able to access this one in a permanent mode. Okay. It could work in a, it could work actually. It could work in a permanently, not for temporary. But as for, for this particular, for this particular project deployment, I'm using the role-based access so that it could be for temporary access of this AWS account as well as AWS, services for temporary reasons. For that one, I'm using the role actions. Any questions so far? And if you want to explore role, it could be it's not your work actually, but it could be basically done by the AWS admin guys. But you should know that what is importance of the role and what is importance of the user for permanent and role for temporary. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm stopping this one. Okay, now what I can do, I can try to delete this role. Okay, it was running, right? Okay, this EC2 instance is running. Now what I can do, I would like to go for the, I would like to delete the role. I could try to delete the role. Okay, while it is running, this is the EC instance is running, but by the time I want to delete the our what the IAM role I created, that I want to be try to delete it. Okay, whether it is getting the error or not, I will see now. So you can select this one, and here we have an option for delete, and so you can copy this one. So if you want delete, you can give the name here. Okay, and you can try to delete it. So role deleted. Okay, if the role is deleted, then you can try to access one more time. might so you deployed only, right? It's like it's a user end, okay, not from the AWS end, from the not from the company end, okay, not from the organization end, okay, it is from user end, so that that guy can able to access this one, okay, and you're just using this particular application. But if you want to do any kind of modification on this one from AWS, it is not possible. But anyway, what we can do, we can try to stop this instance. Stop instance. Instead of terminating, I'm stopping it. After stopping, so from your end, can you try to access this one with IP address? With the same IP address, can you try to access this application again? It is rotating, right? Which means that we can't access this one. The reason is that you just stopped this one. So once if you stop accessing of this service, I mean this application, so user cannot able to access. Yep. Fine. So that is the importance of the role and the user. Now, what I can do, I would like to go for explaining about the user group. So user group in the sense, you can able to go for create the multiple user as a one group actually. Okay. Like I want to go for creating the web user, okay, and web group, like Java full stack developers. Okay. Like I'm creating that, Java developer one, Java developer one. Okay. And so I'm not providing that any kind of policies at this moment. And I'm not giving individual policies. I'm just creating it. Create user. And again, I would like to go for creating the one more user, Java developer 2. Okay. This way you can creating the multiple users, and this all users are they are basically Java full stack developers. Okay. So this way, you can try to give the multiple user, you can create the multiple users, but this all users are belongs to one team, right? So that this Java developer 1 and this Java developer 2 could have the same policies, could have the same authorizations, okay, on my AWS account. So that what I can do, I can go for creating one group, and here we have a create group. And so in this particular group, it's like Java developers, Java team. Okay, this is my group name. Java team is my group name. So here I'm selecting that, user Java developer 1, Java developer 2. I'm just creating. Okay. And I would like to go for create the policies also. And these guys could use the S3 full access. That means they are going to be deploying the project into S3 service, right? So that I'm giving that, S3 full access. I'm giving that, S3 full access for all the Java developers. So select this one. Automatically, this S3 full access could be allocated to this guy as well as this guy indirectly. The reason is that these two guys are belongs to same group, and the group name is Java team. And we are setting the policies to this group only, not this users. Automatically, these users can able to access the S3. Okay, creating the group. So group is created, right? And under this particular group, you have the two users, and what are the permissions are there, these two users, and they can use the S3 services and access advisors, and fine. So this way you can able to go for creating the user group, and you can add the multiple users into the same group, and you can set the policies, and automatically, and one shot it could assigning the all the policies to all the users. Okay. I hope you clear this particular point. This way you can able to go for creating the users group, and you can creating the users, and you can creating the roles, and you can set the policies to the roles, users, as well as user groups. This entire thing we did through console, right? This entire thing we did through console, right? Yes or no? This entire thing we are using AWS web app, and we are doing this everything by graphic user interface. But all the things I want to do it from my AWS CLI. So that what I can do, I would like to go for deleting the this work, what I did in my laptop, and I want to be deleting this. I'm deleting this workspace. Okay. The reason is that the same thing I want to do it from the, my AWS CLI. Okay, delete, and you're deleting the users in one shot. And I would like to go for deleting the Java team also. And so you can see this. So entity does not exist, right? That means this guy is not available at this moment. Just now you delete it. Okay. And so this team also I want to be deleted. So Java team. So for using of AWS through console, it could be simple, guys. So nothing it could be there. It's something like, handy. Okay. So even you can, you can open, you can try to explore it yourself also. But thing is that in a real time, okay, no one can use your AWS console. Everyone could use your AWS CLI, or else Python program, or else any Java program for access, or Terraform to do this all kind of things. Okay. So you have to habituate it, and you should, get the knowledge in terms of console as well as CLI. Okay. And even this course, we would like to go for using the Python also. Okay. So like, how we can use the Python now for do this kind of automation for doing this all kind of things. And I want to create the multiple user in one shot. And of course, we can create it. It's a simple thing. Okay. So through coding, you can do the automation in a one shot. Okay. Yeah, fine. So now this entire thing I would like to manage, and I would like to do with help of the AWS CLI. When you are trying to work with the AWS CLI, okay, so you need to be downloading the AWS CLI application. So here we have the AWS CLI installer is there. So if you are using the Windows operating system in your local computer, then we can go for the AWS CLI installer window, or else download. First, we have to go for download actually. Okay. What we can do, we can go for downloading the AWS CLI. So install and update latest version. See guys, if you want to access AWS from your operating system, from your command line, so first thing is that we have to go for downloading the AWS CLI, then we have to go for install it. So, if your AWS CLI install and update instructions and which operating system you are using, so corresponding that operating system, you can select. So actually I'm using Windows operating system, so that I would like to go for downloading this one. First thing is that we have to download this one. Once downloadation is done, that application, we can double click on it. And once it is go for the next, automatically you are installing the AWS CLI. If and only if you are already installed the AWS CLI in your local computer, then only we can access to your AWS account. From your console, we can access the AWS account. Otherwise, you won't get actually. Okay, you will be getting an error. Okay, so now I already installing my AWS CLI software in my computer, so that I would like to go for open my AWS CLI. So whether you're, I would like to go for open your command prompt. Okay, so just command prompt. You can use that, CMD. Then you will be open this kind of thing, right? So see guys, whether AWS is configured or not, if you want to know that, then simply we can use the command is AWS configure. Yes. So if AWS CLI is installed in my computer, then you will be getting this kind of thing. Otherwise, you will be getting an error. Okay. So fine. So see, if you want to access your AWS, if you want to access your AWS, okay, this AWS, if you want to access this AWS from this particular command line, I can keep it this one in one side, and I can keep it this one, no, another side. Okay. See, this is my CLI. From this particular CLI, I would like to go for accessing this AWS account. Okay. So I should have the access key, right? So how we can creating the access key, and that what I'm not that is not I'm explained, right? So how we can creating the access key for any user. So go for your AWS and select this one. So here we have a permissions, groups and tags and security credentials, and click on the security credentials. And here we have an options like console sign in and multi-factor authentication and access key. So here you will be getting this kind of option. And here we have a create access key. and you can click on the create access key, and so select the command line interface, and then go for the next, and you have to select this one and go for the next, and you can give that in a description, and this is for admin access key 2, access key 2 actually. So for a single user you should have the maximum 2 access keys and 2 security keys only. Create access key, and so here we have an option for download CSV file for sake of safety purpose. In next time, if you forgot your access key, if you forgot your secret key, it's impossible to access your AWS account. Okay, that's the reason what we can do. You can download this one and store in a safe place. So I'm downloading this one. Open. So you can open this one. So, right. So you just open this one, and here we have access key, and here we have a security key. Okay, copy your access key and paste here, and copy your security key. So paste here. So one time, if you're creating access key and security key, you can use for lifetime. I mean, especially for that user only. And by default, it is my Mumbai region, so that you can enter it. Now you log in. So you are configured to your AWS account. Successfully, you are logged into your AWS account from the console. Sorry, from the CLI. My bad. Okay. I hope you clear how we can access this AWS account from CLI. Okay. Now, let me go for creating the one user. So here I have so far I have only one user is there here, right? I would like to go for creating the. Okay. So far, how many users are there here? I have only one user, right? So from the command line interface, and I want to go for, I would like to go for creating the user here. So what is the command? What is the command to creating the user? Okay, so here AWS IAM create user and username. So this is the command actually. Okay, AWS IAM create -user -user -name and followed by the username. For example, it's a like demo user 1. Okay, demo user. Yes, fine. Okay, so which is created, guys. So you have to know this is your user. Whether this user is created on your AWS account or not, if you want to see that, you can just refresh it. Okay, go to users. See, it was created or not. This is the demo user which is created from your AWS CLI. Okay. Now, I see previously, if you want to access this AWS account from CLI, okay, you are creating the access key and security key, right? So I want to go for creating the access key, security key for this demo user from the CLI. For that one, we have a command is that, AWS IAM create hyphen and access key hyphen and hyphen username and followed by the username. So with help of that command, AWS IAM create access key space user name and followed by your username. What is your username? Demo user, right? So this way you are creating the access key for this particular user. So what we can do, we just copy this one. So you have to copy this access keys. So copy, and we can paste somewhere else. Okay. Now, what I can do, I can try to delete this user. I can try to delete the user. How we can delete the user? So AWS IAM delete -user username and followed by the demo user. Actually, you are creating the security key and access key, right? So if you have the security key and access key, before you deleting that one, if you try to delete the demo user, what happened we'll see now. So you are getting an error, right? An error occurred. So when calling the delete user, no, cannot be delete entity, must be delete the access key first. That means once if you creating your user and the user having the access key, and if you, before you deleting the access key, if you try to delete the user, you won't it you will be getting an error. Okay, so that to overcome that one, what we can do first thing is that you have to remove and you have to delete the access key and security key. So what is the command for deleting the security key and access key? So AWS IAM delete hyphen access key and hyphen user, and username is demo username. Okay, and followed by the access hyphen access hyphen key hyphen ID, and followed by the what is the key access key ID? This is your access key ID, right? Yes. So if you are entered, then you successfully deleted the okay. You successfully deleted the your access key for the demo user. After that one, we can try to delete the user from the CLI. Yes, you deleted. So once if you deleted, like you can go through your AWS account, you can try to refresh your user panel. So is the demo user is visible or not? We'll see now. Okay. So only admin is there, right? Demo user is deleted. Any question? Any questions, guys?
No.
So far, I'm just creating the one user from the CLI, and I created the access key for the same demo, same user. After that one, I try to delete the user, which was getting an error. The reason is that first we should go for deleting the access key. That was I did. After that one, I deleted the user. I deleted the user, right? Now, and so again, we can try to go for creating the user. Again, I would like to go for creating the demo user. And again, I would like to go for creating the access key. Okay. And I created the access
One
key.
quick question, like
Yes.
where we can get this like format, like you are typing like AWS create access key or something.
So
So
from
that
the AWS
codes has
itself.
to be remembered or we will get from
The
somewhere.
commands, it could be there in AWS documents. Okay. Like what are the AWS IAM commands? You just, go for your AWS and you can just type like, AWS commands. You will be getting this, all the commands. Okay. But how we can use it, you need to know that actually. Okay. Got you.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. So now I just creating that, again the user and again, I created access key. Now what I can do, I couldn't attach it any kind of policies to this guy. Okay. Now I would like to I would like to go for accessing the AWS account. Uh, I would like to go for accessing the AWS account from the demo user. Okay. So AWS configure. Okay. And so what is the access key? And this is my demo user access key from the demo user. And I want to be go for using the IAM commands. Okay, what happened we'll see. And the security key is that, this is my security key. This is the security key for my demo user. By the time of creation of this access key, it was created this security key, and you have to keep that two things in a safe mode. And you are login to your AWS account from demo user. Okay. I want to know how many users are there. How many users are there in my AWS account. I try to go for executing the same command from the administration account. Okay, so when calling a list users, actually you are not there in so it was, you are not in admin. I mean, which this thing also it is not admin, because you are changed your admin to demo user, right? Your switch from your demo admin user to demo user. So that's the reason you're not getting this kind of thing. So okay, you're not getting, you're getting an error. Okay, so an error, accessing denied, because this demo user, this demo user, he could have, it doesn't have any kind of it doesn't have any kind of authorization to use the IAM service. Okay, now I can log into my admin account. I can execute the same command. We'll see now what happens. What is my access key and what is my security key for my admin? AWS configure. Okay. Okay. Now this is my admin secret key, access key, and this is my secret key for my admin. Okay. Simply login. Okay. Now I would like to go for executing the AWS IAM list users. This is the command it was executing now, previously, which is not executed. AWS IAM list users. Let's see. So this is the one user, this is admin user, and this is demo user. Previously, you're not getting this output. The reason is that, so you are login, you are accessing your AWS account from the demo user. Basically, the demo user, he is not at, he is not having any kind of authorization to use the IAM service. So that's the reason he could not able to see that how many users are there. Okay. Now, I can set the policies. How you can set the policies? How we can set the policies for your demo user? Okay. So if you want to set, and if you want to attach the policies, then simply what we can do, we have a command is attach the policies. Okay, AWS IAM attach. So user, you are attaching the policies to the user policies. Okay, user policy, then followed by the username. And username, what is the username? It's like demo user, right? So demo user. And what is the policy? So you need to know that what policy IRN also. How we can get the policy IRN? Policy, sorry, ARN. Okay, policy ARN. So for getting the policy ARN, then simple thing actually. So every AWS service, it could have the ARN policy, the AWS ARN. Okay. So for example, I would like to go for the administration access. Simply you can click on this one. So here we can ARN, right? So this is the thing you have to copy this one, and you can assign to here. Okay. Yes, fine. You are attached. Mhm.
Looks like username has 3 hyphens. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, it's a 2, right? Only 2 hyphens we required, but unfortunately, I mentioned 3 hyphens. Because of that one, I'm getting an error. Yes, you are attached that policy to the user. So once if you're attaching the policy to the user, that means the demo user also now he have a permissions to access the anything from his AWS account, right? No. Now I would like to go for configure to my AWS. Okay, I would like to configure my AWS again. Okay, so what is the access key and what is the user ID? This is my access key, and this is my security key. So with help of the access key and security key, you are log into your AWS account to the demo used. Okay. After that one, you can try to use the AWS services. So now you are able to see that. See, previously this is the command which was not executed. The reason is that, this guy is not having that, authorization to use the anything from your AWS account. But right now he having everything. The reason is that, from here you're setting the policies to that use, right? Right or not? Okay. So that way you can do it, guys. And hopefully you understood. Even you can have some kind of commands like deleting access keys and creating the groups and deleting the groups and deleting access keys, and how you deleting the access key in the same way you can detach the policies. Okay, and you can delete the groups and you can delete the users, and you can assigning the no, you can attach the policies to the groups as well. You can you can attach the policies to the users, and you can detach the policies from the users. We can detach the policies from the group also. So for everything, it could have some kind of a predefined commands are there. So that commands you can easily get it from internet. That it could be simple actually. So, but what is the use of each and every command? You need to know that, and how we can use it. That we need to know that actually. Okay. So for executing of those commands, simply we have to use the AWS CLI. So before doing that thing, what we can do, you can go for downloading the AWS CLI in your local computer. Then we can start exploring that AWS knowledge from your CLI as well. Okay. So in real time, we could go for using the AWS CLI only, or else AWS SDKs, not AWS consoles. Console, it could be even 10th student also can understand AWS account, AWS. But thing is that you could not use that these all things like an SDK and CLI. Okay, like we have to go for understanding that level actually, not basic level. Got you? Yep, that's for today's session, guys. Hopefully you understood, and we'll go for continuation of next module, like it is computing. So I can wrap up the AWS IAM service today itself, and tomorrow we can start some kind of fresh AWS service. And I would like to start with an AWS computing, like from EC2. Okay, in computing, what are the services are there, and each service, what is the use, and why that many services are there, and each and every service, what is the necessity, and for which type of no work, which service we should use it under computing. That everything we'll discuss by tomorrow's session. Okay. Bye guys, see you, take care. Okay, so Ashish, I'm giving access to you. So is there anyone required the access of your recordings?
Yes,
So send me your mail ID.
I have put it in the chat. Sanya 5/29/1995.
Just one second.
I actually got access for the class recordings, but I was just asking for the, do I need to have access for AWS as well?
Sorry.
I think I have access for class recordings. I was the one just texted you.
Okay. So is that mail ID having that, recording access or not?
I'm not sure. I mean, I got the invitation for
Then
the
fine.
Canvas
Then
recently.
what we
Okay.
can do, you can just click on that invitation. Okay.
Yeah, I
Like,
just followed those things. Thank you.
yeah. So before
Can you
starting
double
also,
double
yes,
check the email if you don't mind, please?
sure.
I think I added dot in between previously, but yeah, this is the right email. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone required the recording access?
I got the access, but my question is, do I need to download AWS CLI and
Yes. Yeah, you have to explore it. If you want to get the more knowledge, then you can go for downloading the AWS CLI. Then we can, we can try to access the AWS account from the CLI with access key and the security keys. For that one, you can start exploring the knowledge from the first class onwards.
Everything
Okay.
is open source, right?
Yeah, it's open source. You don't need to pay anything. Okay. So until unless we are using, high level advanced services. And so which services could be paid things before we are using services, I can tell you actually. Don't worry about it. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Was my main question regarding the AWS.
Okay, fine. So many guys are not accepting the invitation, and yeah, yeah, fine. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for attending the session. We'll meet you tomorrow, but continuation of AWS computing. Thank you.